Hey, before the video starts, I know a lot of you are gonna be asking, hey, where's the noise video? Why aren't you talking about the noise update, man? When are you gonna talk about the noise update? And man, the update came out 2 days ago. You gotta give me time. I already I ran through the whole game again as the noise, and I'm going to be working on a review of it, but the update literally came out towards the end of this video's production, so I wanted to get this one out first, and then I'll start working on the noise update video. You can expect to see me talking about the noise update in like a week, 2 weeks at most. Okay? Cool. Now, enjoy the video. In about a couple of weeks from the time this video goes live, it will have officially been 1 year since I made my review of Sugary Spire's demo. Yes, time has moved that fast. To celebrate the 1 year anniversary of the video that first garnered a bunch of attention on this humble channel, I decided to replay the demo and talk about the game again, including what development updates have been shared. This is a semi-scripted video because I really just want to get my thoughts out without spending hours writing a script. As a brief recap of what Sugary Spire is, specifically for those who haven't seen my original video, Sugary Spire is a Pizza Tower fan game that acts as a sort of swap AU, putting the noise in Peppino's shoes as the nervous cook, and making Peppino be the wild troublemaker. You play as Pizzelle, a candy maker on a quest to raid the Sugary Spire of its sweets. Of course, this quest will bring her through a variety of weird areas and force her to encounter strange creatures. Okay, with the recap done, I'm gonna stop writing the script and start rambling about the game. Hopefully whatever comes out of my mouth makes some sense. So, I replayed the demo, obviously, because, it has been a long time since I touched that demo. I think the last time I played it was to speedrun it. I have a spreadsheet of speedrun times in various versions of Pizza Tower, and Sugary Spire is on that spreadsheet, so I filled it out. But I had to replay the game again, and I had a great time with it. It's Pizza Tower with another coat of paint. It's early Pizza Tower with another coat of paint. It took a little bit to get used to the control scheme again. I just had to run through the tutorial to remember how it works. So it wasn't that big of a deal. I want to talk about the levels again, because I think my opinions on some of the levels have changed since that video. It's been a year. So Entryway, or as it's now called, Crunchy Construction, it's good. It's a solid, simple first level that introduces the core mechanics of the game in a clear and understandable way. I think the level layout is pretty similar to John Gutter. It's just, I think it's a bit, maybe like a tiny bit more difficult than John Gutter, which I think is okay, because this is a Pizza Tower fan game. Most people who are going to be playing this are people who've finished playing Pizza Tower. They're already used to the controls. So I think having a level that acts like John Gutter but is like a little bit harder, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, it's a fun level. It's good. Cottontown? Yeah, Cottontown, that's what it was. I was thinking of a completely different scrapped level. Cottontown is, it's the Pizzascape of the game. It introduces the first major transformation. It's got very iconic music. It is also pretty damn fun. I think the vibe of Cottontown is pretty good. I like the there's this almost sort of steampunk aesthetic they've got going on. And when you think of steampunk, you usually think of like brass and clockwork and It's just a shit ton of gears everywhere. But it kind of goes almost like a BioShock Infinite kind of steampunk in a way, if that makes sense. Where it's not all like brass and machinery and stuff, but you know, there's, you know, little blimps in the background, and there's bright colors, and the second half of the level takes place in a clock tower, so it's like you can at least see where I get the steampunk aesthetic from. But I mean, it's a fun level. The cotton transformation is pretty good. It's, you know, you can still run, but not like Mach run. It's more of a leisurely jog. You know, you float through the air, and you can like slam downwards real fast and go through cotton blocks, and you can stand on cotton blocks. I mean, it's fun. I think it's used in some pretty good ways in the level. I think the first time, the time when it's introduced, I think is the best point at which they use it, because it sort of introduces all of the key components of the transformation. It has the cotton platforms that you can only stand on if you're in the cotton transformation. It shows that getting hit by like the toasters, I think it's toasters, I think instead of the electric outlets, they're toasters. I don't know, I could be making this shit up. Getting hit by those will remove the transformation, and touching water will remove the transformation. And then there's also the, you know, diving down will allow you to pass through cotton blocks, and hitting a slope will put you into like a sliding animation where you can like build up some speed. It introduces all of that, and you know, sets it up in a very good way. But the next few times that they use it aren't as good, because they're very similar. The times it's used afterwards are similar, but they remove one of those elements. The second time is when you would get to, I think, the second secret, and it's got the cotton platforms, it's got the water, it has the chocolate frogs that you gotta destroy, but it doesn't have any of the, it doesn't really have any of the slamming down. The only time you could really use it is to touch the fucking booster TV at the very end of the thing to get rid of your transformation. But that's really it. And then the second time, it's basically the exact same. It's just water. You just gotta avoid the water. So I feel like, and both of the versions, both of the iterations after that, don't feel like much harder, or like they don't introduce anything. If I remember correctly, they're trying to rework pre-existing level layouts, which I think, now that I really think about it, would be good for Cottontown, Molasses Swamp, and Sugarshack Mines. I think crunchy construction is good as is. I don't really care what they do with it, but I think I would want them, for Cottontown, I'd want them to go and touch up the cotton transformation segments, so that way it's like the first time you experience it, it introduces to you, hey, this transformation floats in the air and can stand on cotton platforms, but it can also dive downwards to start sliding and phase through cotton platforms. And then the second time, the second room introduces the water, So that way it's like, oh hey, if you touch water or the outlets / toasters, you lose the transformation, so don't touch it. And then the third time should just be like culmination of all of that. So it's like you gotta jump through the platforms while avoiding the outlets, and then there's like maybe there's like one part where you have to dive through the clouds, but then if you like time it wrong or you're not in the right position, you fall into some water and you gotta go get the cotton transformation again. I know it's also used in the escape, but honestly I don't really count that at all, because like it's genuinely faster to just get hit by the like the toasters and lose the transformation. You don't even need the transformation for anything other than like getting collectibles and stuff. You're not required to like destroy a chocolate frog to pass. You take damage, go to the bottom of the room, and then leave. So I think for that specific last segment, either like remove it or make it so the cotton transformation is required. I like that it's using the floating mechanic of the cotton transformation, but there's no like punishment for just getting rid of the cotton transformation and going to the end of the stage. Cottontown, I think, admittedly, I did say a lot of complaints just now, but I still think it's a good level. It's fun. It's a Pizza Tower game. As long as the level has at least half good rooms, I'm gonna enjoy it. You know, I'm not real picky about levels in games or just games in general. Molasses Swamp is, it's fun. Again, fun. That's the one word I would use to describe this game. It's fun. It's a fun game. I think Molasses Swamp's big issue is the same thing that Ancient Cheese suffers from, in that it's a big jump in difficulty. The level, it has some really interesting ideas in, the swamp geysers and the fling frogs, which are just Mr. Pinch. The geysers are really interesting, but they're kind of... I think the big issue that they suffer from is that they're just one note. And that is... that's a complaint you can levy against a lot of things in Pizza Tower, is a lot of hazards and obstacles are built to do one specific thing, and that thing only. So, the geysers, what do? You ground pound on them, and they shoot you upwards, right? I think they're used okay in the level. But they never really do anything with it other than hit this to go up. Or hit this to go up and destroy these blocks that can only be destroyed by the geysers. And I wish they'd use it for other things. Like, imagine there's like a room, or maybe like a secret where you have to you first like run across a bunch of geysers, and if you activate them, you get like a shortcut or like a secret like bonus room. But when you go back down, you then enter like an upper path, and the path is more difficult if you activated like more geysers. So there's like this risk-reward thing going on. Or you could have a room where there's geysers that launch you directly into like toasters or spikes or hazards, and so it's like maybe like looking in the environment to see what geyser leads to like the correct path forward or to like a secret. There could have been a geyser that like is just out in the open, and you hit it and it destroys some cookie blocks and lets you go into one of the secrets. I think that would be a lot better than the secret that you literally just walk through a wall to get with no indication that there's a secret there. That's my big issue with the geysers, is they're underutilized. There's quite a few things they could have been used for, and they were not used for a lot. And you kind of don't really see them once you enter the temple. Like, you see them once before you enter the temple fully, and then I can't really think of anywhere where the geysers are used in the actual temple other than like in the escape. So it's, yeah, the geysers, they've got a couple issues, but I do think like combining them with the fling frogs, that could be a lot of fun. That could be a ton of fun. The fling frogs are good. I mean, they're Mr. Pinch, but I'm glad they kind of feel better than Mr. Pinch because they're not being used. Like, my biggest complaint about oh shit in Pizza Tower is the Mr. Pinch room, where one wrong move and you're back to the top of the room. That's my biggest complaint with oh shit. But Molasses Swamp doesn't have that. It just has like actual proper challenges with the fling frogs, which I like. There's the molasses blocks, which are just, you know, there's them. I don't know if it's molasses or syrup, but it's the blocks. It's the crumbling cheese blocks, the blocks that crumble under you. I mean, there's not much I can say about them. They do that thing. That's it. The one other thing that I can really levy against Molasses Swamp is the molasses that you find in some of the rooms that like is sticky. I don't like it. I think the places that they put it are very annoying. The one room I can think of is like the first room in the temple, I think it is, where you have like, or no, I think it's like outside of the temple. It's one of the rooms outside of the temple where you have like a slope and there's a giant pit and you have to climb up through the pit to continue forward. But not only is there molasses on the walls that'll make it so you can't like jump off the wall, there's also molasses directly on the ground in front of the pit. So you have to like time a jump in order to you have to time a jump, but there's not enough room to build up the speed required to jump far enough to get onto the wall. So that's the most annoying part. You know, I think like the molasses on the walls and the floor is fundamentally the exact same as the cheese in the vent sections or the kitchen sections of Don't Make a Sound, where it's literally just it's sticky. You can't jump that high. I think it works in Don't Make a Sound because when you're being chased by the cheese topping monster, you're panicking, and one wrong move, suddenly you're in the cheese and you're freaking out. Your fucking heart rate shoots up, and you're just trying to figure out how the hell am I gonna get out of this situation. I think it works there because of that stress and that panic that you have, but in Molasses Swamp, it's just annoying. It is just annoying. So Molasses Swamp, I do think, has quite a few issues, but again, these are issues that can be ironed out. These are issues that can be fixed. You know, they're not like, I don't think these are fundamental issues with the gimmicks and hazards themselves. I think it's issues with how they are used within the level. And that's just level design stuff, baby. You gotta... I know the team does not have a lot of experienced level designers, but you gain experience by making mistakes, trying new things, and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. I hope that the developers are actively listening to the community and, you know, taking in complaints and suggestions and, you know, adjusting level design accordingly, and like obviously taking feedback from the playtesters, and just making the best game that they can. That's the thing. I think the developers are making the best game that they can, and I think they're doing a great job with it. And I really hope that, you know, I really hope that complaints from me and from other people don't like bog them down or like ruin their mood. Because the last thing I would want to do is discourage somebody from making something that they love. The developers of Sugary Spire are clearly very passionate about it, and I'm very excited to see the final product. But I don't want my words to be misconstrued as me being mean. I really want to see this game be the best it can be. It's just the demo that is available is really not the best. Which I think is a shame. I think it's a big shame that the demo has quite a few issues with it, because like people who hear about Sugary Spire and they're like, oh, I want to check this game out, or like they see my review of it and they play it, it's like this is not accurate to what the game is in its current state of development, because the game looks great in its current state of development. It looks fantastic. But they play the demo and they're met with, you know, like underwhelming or kind of annoying level design, or, you know, sort of clunky controls, or having to play a platform with a keyboard, which I can't do that. So I can see some people, you know, being turned off from playing the final release because of the issues of the demo. And I know they're not planning on releasing a second demo, which is understandable, but still, that's not a good situation to be in. I've gone long enough tangent. How long is this fucking recording? Oh, 22 minutes already? No! Okay, Sugarshack Mines. This is the level that I like the least. I've definitely warmed up to it. I wouldn't say it's a Bloodsus dungeon situation, where a Bloodsus dungeon used to be my least favorite level in floor 1, and now it's my favorite. I've definitely warmed up to Sugarshack Mines, but I think it's okay. There's a lot of issues with the layout. It's very confusing. It's not exactly easy to navigate. I think the confetti are kind of annoying to get, because in Pizza Tower, the top-ins are almost always either in little side cubbies or behind little challenges, or just out in the open. Pretty easy to grab. You just have to have a keen eye out and an ear open. Sugarshack Mines and Sugary Spire in general, I think follows that philosophy pretty well, but Sugarshack Mines, you really need to either have a guide open or already know the specific plan of attack. Where it's like, oh, you go to Rosette and you get the donut, blow the hole up, get another donut, and then go to your first miner, get the donut. You have to go back to Rosette, grab another donut, go back, find another gnome, blow it up, grab the donut. It's a lot of having to know not only that you can go. It's a lot of not only knowing when to go back to Rosette, but also knowing that you can go back to Rosette. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people didn't know they could go back to Rosette. I didn't. When I first played the game, I did not fucking know that. I know they're working on it. They're working on it hard, and I hope it turns out real good. But it's just, that's the biggest glaring issue with it, is confusing level design and not enough things are told to you. As for gimmicks, the pickaxes, I mean, I think they're a little bit more annoying than the pizza cutters in Pizza Tower because they're used a lot more, I think. You know, not like secret, not like third secret of Blood Sauce Dungeon level of use, but they are used quite a bit. Quite a bit more than in the actual level Blood Sauce Dungeon. So I think toning it down could be a bit better, could really like improve the difficulty of Sugarshack Mines. So it's and then the minecart. The minecart is just kind of annoying. There's bugs with it, obviously. Like sometimes you just clip through the railing. You just clip through the railing. Like if you go up a slope. They're kind of clunky, almost. I think the biggest issue is like, I think the biggest issue with them for me is they're trying to be Donkey Kong Country minecarts without being as annoying and bullshit as those levels can be sometimes. But the issue is the Donkey Kong Country minecarts were always intended to be bullshit and annoying. So without that element, they're just kind of boring. I think if you want to go that route, you either have to make them exactly like the Donkey Kong Country minecarts, or just not have them entirely, or do something completely different. And I call the Donkey Kong Country minecarts bullshit, but I love those levels. I think they're very fun, they're very chaotic. I love I'm talking both about the old ones and the current ones, the ones from like Tropical Freeze and Donkey Kong Country Returns, but also the old ones are the bullshit ones. The old ones are the real bullshit ones, the new ones are slightly less bullshit, but they're still a little bit of bullshit. The important thing is that they're kind of meant to be annoying. You're kind of meant to die a lot in those levels, so it's like, do that. And if you're gonna have minecarts in this level, go all in on that. Really just nail that essence of Donkey Kong Country minecart segment, and I think they'll be a lot more fun. And like, you can tone down the difficulty by making it so there's not like, you can tone down like the hazards that are on the course if you want to make them feel less bullshit, because honestly, the Donkey Kong Country minecarts are just fun to ride in. They're fun to use. So it's like, I think I think if you want to tone down the difficulty, then like don't send enemies down the way, or like have pickaxes or whatever. But if you want to add difficulty to it, throw in some enemies that ride the rails, or throw in some pickaxes that like you gotta jump over, some gaps in the thing, or like the end of minecart tracks. Throw in like one of those barriers and force you to like jump over them, or else you'll explode. I mean, I think it can be used a lot better. So it's like, yeah, Sugarshack Mines is definitely my least favorite level, but it's not terrible. I've warmed up to it. It needs a lot of improvements. I think that's the thing with this demo. As I said earlier, it needs improvements. A lot of improvements. But they're not going to be releasing a new demo. They're going to be making a full game. So we just sort of have to contend with what we have. Yeah, speaking of full game and stuff like that, I'm going to pause the recording right here, and I'm going to go watch the progress update. Rewatch it, so that way I can see what I can remind myself of what's happening. God, this video is already 30 minutes long. Okay, I'm back. So, after rewatching it, it seems like development's going pretty well. As sort of a general recap, they have changed the level order and the level layout, so instead of there being 3 worlds with 4 levels each, instead there will be 4 worlds with 3 levels each. They did this so that way they could have a couple more extra levels and 2 new bosses. Originally there's going to be a character called Painter as the boss of World 1, with Pizzano as the boss of World 2, and Cone Ball as the boss of World 3, but they ended up dropping Painter as a boss in favor of being an ally. Then Pizzano is boss of World 3, Cobalt is boss of World 4. Who knows what's going to be the bosses for World 1 and 2? Well, we'll never know. Not until the game comes out. So I think this will work. Oh yeah, and the remaining levels, the 3 levels that we have heard like one word of, we know there's going to be a level called Cone Boy Casino, which I don't think is going to be. I think it's going to be a don't make a sound type level, not gameplay wise, but more in like theming maybe, because I consider Don't Make a Sound to be the Pizza Boy level, because it's Pizza Boy's Biz Pizza. It's an old abandoned restaurant, so it might be. Again, don't quote me on this. Don't quote me on this, fellas. It's I think it might be like a abandoned casino run by a Cone Boy. It might not be abandoned, it might be like a genuine actual casino, but it is going to have that theme of like, oh, it's the level of the cute chibi version of the final boss. Then there's going to be a licorice theme level in World 4, and a sour active level, which is like radioactive and like sour, so lemons. So those two alongside Suko Snowstorm, which is the war level in the final world, I think it sounds good. If I had to guess, I'd say theming wise, I'd imagine Licorice will be similar to Pizza Scare, and that is sort of like general horror themed, and then Sour Active is sort of the other one. You know, I don't think it'll be like a candy shop, but it'll probably be like a nuclear power plant, something else kind of maybe scary a little bit. And then Cone Boy Casino is going to be World 3. So I like the new level structure. I think it'll be good for development. I think it'll help production on the game and just sort of make the game flow nicer, because as Pure Roulette said in the video, three bosses is a wimpy number. And I think 4 works a lot better. They are working on redoing a bunch of levels. They showed some footage of reworked Country Construction and Cottontown. I don't remember if they showed anything from Molasses Swamp or Sugarshack Mines, but I mean, it looks good. It looks good. It looks like they're all more tuned towards the modern playstyle, the modern control scheme of Pizza Tower and Sugary Spire. So, looks good. And then the last part of the video was scrapped content, which is interesting to look at. You know, I would love to see somebody mod in, you know, Exit Way or Cotton Storm and, you know, other scrapped levels like, you know, Sour Sweet Jungle and Cocoa Catacombs. Hell, I wouldn't mind if, like, the devs release, like, post-launch DLC with, like, some extra levels. But I'm not expecting that, so I'm just accepting the fact that it's scrapped content. They also talked about there was going to be a playable Cone Boy, which was going to act like Kirby, and yeah, it sounds like fun, but like, I like playing as Peppino. In a game about going fast, I want to go fast. That's why I don't play a lot of Sonic games, because man, I spend 5 seconds going fast and then I hit a wall. But is it still fun? Is it still funny to make fun of Sonic games now, or is that like outdated? Is that like 2010's YouTube? And we're now in 2020's YouTube? I gotta get with the times. But yeah, I mean, it seems like development of Sugary Spire is going well. It is going swimmingly. I wish the developers best of luck. I hope that they keep us all well and posted and updated on how things are going. And in case people are wondering, no, I was not made a playtester, but I've honestly hit a point where I don't care whether or not I'm a playtester, I'm just excited for the full game. So, again, I'm no longer asking to be a playtester. I am a passive observer. Would I deny the opportunity to be a playtester? No. But I also wouldn't mind if they just didn't ask me at all. Because I understand they've got plenty of people on their team. They don't need some fucking bozo who made a video about their game a year ago. My job is giving them free marketing. That's my job. So, yeah, that's me talking about Sugary Spire again. This video ended up being way longer than I intended it to, because I like talking. So, if you enjoyed it, go support Sugary Spire. A link to the Discord and the YouTube channel will be in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the usual YouTube bullshit. Sorry for the ads, my channel's monetized now. I'm in the big boy leagues. I made $24 off of my last video. So, yay. Yeah, thank you all for watching. I will catch you all next time. My next video will likely be coming out this month, and it will just be the third and final part of the Bopple Battle video that I made. Uh-oh, except actually it's not. It's gonna be the noise update review. I made this video before the noise update came out. Whoopee! You know, me and Zern playing Bopple Battle. It's gonna be the last version of that, because I'm running out of footage from that. So, enjoy. Yeah. I know I said it, this is my third time. I'll see you all next time. Bye. Bye-bye.